How does future predictions work from a quantum manifestation perspective? To understand this concept, we first have to understand what is a future. We are part of a quantum field made out of energy and electromagnetic frequency. A future reality is simply one of many different possibilities within this quantum field. So imagine this is you living within this current future. There are many different probable futures in the quantum field and probable dimensions that also have various probable futures. The future that comes true is the future that has the most momentum, meaning it is already at the brink of merging into your current reality due to there being a lot of similar cooperative components, in other words, electromagnetic frequencies and energies. When two futures starts converging, there is a mixing point and overlap. Within this overlap, you will see elements of the future reality within the current reality. We call those elements that overlap signs. So, in order to be able to predict these probable futures, what do you need to do? You would need to create a device that reads energies. There are people in this world who are energy readers who can tap into the electromagnetic frequencies within the quantum field. So, a future reader is someone who is able to pick up the momentum of the arriving quantum reality, pick up on the signs, the merging points of the coming reality. They're also able to energetically pick up on the probabilities of various quantum realities, various future realities. This is why people who predict deep into the future, long-term predictions tend to have a greater probability of not being accurate, of not being the reality that may end up merging into yours, that may end up collapsing and becoming part of your reality. Why does future predictions sometimes not happen? So this is a continuation of the quantum manifestation perspective on how does future predicting work. Many of you are familiar with Nostradamus and his predictions about the world coming to an end in 2020. So why didn't it work? Why didn't that prediction come through when many of his other predictions came true? In our last video, we talked about a future reality is simply one of many different probable realities within the quantum field. And the future that does come true is the quantum reality that has the most momentum and similarities. And so therefore it merges into your current quantum reality. So why does predictions not work sometimes? Because it is a probability. Each of these futures, someone like Nostradamus, who was looking very far into the future, was tapping into one of various possibilities. 2020 is the year that the world comes to an end. There's also 2020, that a year that the world didn't come to an end. That is the 2020 we're living in, etc. Because there are many different possibilities of realities, we do not know which reality will converge into the current reality if it doesn't have a momentum. This is why near future predictions tend to be more accurate than distant future predictions, because near future predictions are likely tapping into the quantum reality that has the greatest momentum of merging, of overlap. Another reason why future predictions sometimes don't work is even when you are able to tap into the quantum reality that has the most overlap, there is something called the pigeonhole effect, where you're only looking at a pigeonhole, a portion of that reality. Let's look at COVID, for example. Let's suppose Nostradamus, or someone of similar magnitude, predicted COVID. We know in that 4 or 5 years of COVID era that there were a lot of people who experienced a lot of distress, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of negative events. But we also know there are a lot of people who greatly thrived and benefited, whose lives improved during COVID. So the pigeonhole effect occurs only when you're picking up on only one aspect of that reality and thereby making the conclusion that that year, for example, is going to be a terrible year, whereas another reader might pick up on the other aspect of that reality that indicates it is a good reality. The takeaway for this video is that it is important to understand that when you're listening to predictions of the future, to keep in mind that distant future readings have the greatest margin of error than closer predictions. The most accurate future predictions are with the least margin of error are done by people who are able to read the overlapping portions of realities that are already in the brink of merging. Many people are actually able to do this. These overlapping portions display signs that allow people who are closely observing that reality to pick up on it. This is how financial predictions are possible. So, if you want to predict financial crisis or any other unwanted realities, you want to take into account the momentum or the direction of the future event, the signs of that future event, such like the breeze of an impending storm, as well as factor in the pigeonhole effect, which means that not everyone in that reality will be a participant of the unwanted effects of that quantum reality. How does one avoid an unwanted predicted reality? This is part 3 of our reality prediction series, understood from a quantum manifestation perspective. So, how does one prevent themselves from merging into a quantum reality that is unwanted? For example, a quantum reality where there is a financial crisis. So we've discussed this in various other of my videos, but the basic rule of thumb to exit one quantum reality to another quantum reality, to shift to it or to have it merge in with you, is to simply change your energetic signature, your vibrational frequencies. Again, we talked about we are nothing more than energies or frequencies within the quantum field. And so if you want to shift from one probable reality to another, all you're doing is shifting your energetic signature. Please reference my other videos for more in-depth information. Okay, if a quantum reality, a probable future, does not have momentum, you have nothing to fear. But let's say it does have momentum and there's already a merging and overlap, and there's already clear signs that this impending financial crisis or unwanted future is coming. What do you do if you're already caught in the trappings of the momentum? The truth is, there's very little you can do but to ride it out, while in the meantime adjusting your vibrational frequency or energetic signature so that you can be a benefactor in the pigeonhole effect, which we discussed in last video, or you once this reality moves, leaves, or passes through, you can be vibrationally congruent to a much better reality. If the reality doesn't already have momentum, again, you have plenty of time to avoid it. And this is the benefit of future or knowing about the future. So you have time to change your energetic signature or vibrational frequency to not be part of that reality or to benefit from the pigeonhole effect. But what ends up happening is a lot of people, when they hear about an unwanted future, they start to exhibit fear about that future, not realizing that fear is an indication that they are further anchoring themselves and almost guaranteeing that they're going to merge or shift into that unwanted quantum reality. If there's anything you pick out of this video, it is this important information. When you fear something, you are anchoring yourself more and more into that reality. When you love something or you're excited about a future, you're anchoring yourself more and more into that reality.